Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to Crypto Warehouse. It is the 23rd of January, I believe. Yes, it is the 23rd of January today. I hope you're all doing really well. When does the dip keep on dipping? That's the question today. We're going to have a look at an awful lot of things today. We're not just going to look at Bitcoin. We are not going to wallow in self-pity. We are going to look at some X-Files again today. We haven't done that for a few days. We're then going to look at Bitcoin hurting. Bitcoin is in a world of pain right now. This is getting towards max pain. Max pain is something that you experience in every cycle. You experience it in every prolonged dip. We're going to go through the charts. We're going to go through some news about Bitcoin, and then we're going to move on. We're going to look at ETH supply. Is there going to be a problem with the supply of ETH now that the new update has gone live? We're going to look at ADA to $11. Is this another pie in the sky prediction, or is there actually any evidence to suggest we could get that high? We're then going to look at Arbitrum, Solana, and XRP. Which of those three is the best bet for the next bull run? And then we're going to look at the latest figures on how many people are in crypto at the end of 2023. We haven't even hit 1 billion people in crypto. We haven't even hit 1 billion people. Everybody watching this who is currently crying into their morning tea or coffee, sobbing uncontrollably while chewing on that piece of cold toast, thinking Bitcoin should be at $50,000, we are still very early. So a few shout outs to everybody. My phones are going off because the prices just keep on coming down. Good morning to Kishan. Good morning to Harry. Good morning to Hidden Agendas. I believe Flip Those Cryptos tuned in, thought it was a waking nightmare, and has gone back to bed. And I don't blame him. I think that's the best thing he could have done. So Hidden Agendas has asked, why has it gone down? We are falling. We are falling. We're going to have a look at that. Kishan thinks we're going to go up to 42,000. And the question today is, and there's been 6 votes on this, are we going to see $38,000? I don't mean 38,900, I mean 38,001, 38,002. Are we going to slip another $1,000 today? That's what we're going to have a look at. Before we get to any of that, we are going to go and have a look at the markets, because this is a sea of red. Now, I can't see anybody in the other chats, so if you are here and you want to say hello, by all means, drop a comment, say hello, let me know what you're doing, let me know where you think the local bottom is on this price. I've obviously put up that I think 37,000 is where we're going to bottom out in this period. Where do you think it's going to happen? I've got the chart that I had yesterday that I'm going to go through again. I don't think we're going to come down as far as a lot of people are calling. Some people are calling for $25,000, $28,000. I just can't see that. But then again, I couldn't see us breaking $40,000, and we have done. So let's have a quick look at the markets. Obviously, being a bloodbath, market cap is down over 4.5%. The volume has spiked 120%. That volume spike, by the way, always happens on a Tuesday, because the Monday volume is based on the previous 24 hours, which is, of course, the weekend. So the volume is always up on a Monday. Bitcoin dominance, ETH dominance, nothing really to report there. Now, this is the exciting part. Has anything made a gain in the last 24 hours? I think I saw Sui make a gain in the last 24 hours. There we go. So the the 3 gainers, and one of them isn't Gloria. One is Sui, one is Seacoin, and the other is the Zombie coin, which is the FTX token. Remember what I say every time I mention this. It is not attached to anything. It is a utility token of a defunct exchange. You shouldn't be buying this token, in my opinion, not financial advice. It is dead in the water. So nothing really is up. The click of this button is going to fill me with dread. So 1,000 sats is down a chunk. Asta is down. Optimism is down. Woo is down. We've got a lot of double-digit losers. But not only do we have a lot of double-digit losers, it's now taken a lot of those losers into deep into the red on the year to date. So we're 3 weeks into the year and 1,000 sats is down 45.5%. Is that a buying opportunity for 1,000 sats? I'm not a fan of the project. I've made a video about it. I don't like it. Going down the list, is Optimism a good buy at $2.70? Absolutely. What else is good down here? I think Ordinals is a good buy. AVAX is down 27.5%. AVAX had a huge tear and is now falling away. I still think it's a good project. It has a lot of activity on it. Don't fade AVAX. So all in all, it's not a great day. It's not a great day. I'm not going to keep this on the screen much longer because I know how much pain most of you are in. So what we're going to do is we're going to move on and have a look at a couple of X-Files. X-Files are very simply snippets from X, which are not really worthy of an entire article. So I just kind of show the comment and away we go. So Elizabeth Warren has been fact-checked on X, claiming that this $900,000 or $900 million or whatever she said of Bitcoin was being used to launder money. And when she was fact-checked, this is not even 1% of the total amount of money laundered. The biggest currency used to launder is, of course, the US dollar. She is not putting things into perspective, and she is doing nothing but trying to bash crypto. All I will say is go and have a look at her sponsors, and you will understand why she's doing this. So again, she's just trying to throw it, and it's falling on deaf ears. People don't care anymore. Now, Arkham is a very good platform for looking at statistics, and they have now found the majority of ETF addresses for BlackRock, Fidelity, Bitwise, Franklin Templeton. They're now on Arkham. So it's identified the on-chain locations of 4 of the Bitcoin ETFs. They're the first to publicly identify these addresses. Links and holdings break down below. So the beauty of blockchain, as we've talked about before, the beauty of blockchain is very simple. You can see every transaction on chain on any Bitcoin ledger scanning website. You know, if you go to bitcoin.com, I think it's bitcoin.com, if you type in an address or a transaction, you will see everything associated with that. That's the same for Ethereum, the same for Solana. Now we have these ETFs that have to hold this Bitcoin. You can see every transaction of each of those wallets. So in real time, you can see what is going where, and you can see the amounts, you can see the transactions. It's one of the beauties of crypto, and especially of Bitcoin, because you can see in real time what is happening with the ETFs. So it's a snippet, it's interesting, it's nice to see. Now, the other thing that happened yesterday was the CME gap. The CME gap was at 39,000. I believe it was 39,400, 39,500. The CME gap, very simply explained, is the difference in price of Bitcoin, in this instance, between when the market closes and when the market opens. So it's the difference in price between the closing price on a given day, given trading day, and the opening price on the following trading day on the Chicago Mercantile Exchange. Now, you might have never heard of this and might not care about it, but the CME gap, when the markets close on Fridays at 4:30, Bitcoin trades for 2 whole days. If the price close is 40,000 and Bitcoin shoots up to 50,000, there will be a gap in the market at 40,000, and 99 times out of 100 it fills. That means that the price of Bitcoin will come down to that gap and fill that gap. That's all it means. But it's called the CME gap, and it's something that in the past I think we've still got an outstanding CME gap at something like 20 or 25,000, or we had one there in October, I think it was, or maybe November, and everybody was saying we're going to come down and touch that. So this CME gap has now been filled. Now, Again, what should happen when the CME gap is filled is the price should move up. And we haven't. In fact, if anything, the price is continuing to come down. And again, this is just strange days in crypto indeed. So let me know what you think the bottom price of Bitcoin is going to be today. Where do you think we're going to end up? Do you think we're going to end up at 30,000? Do you think we're going to bounce back to 40, 42,000? I think Kishan said 42. Do you think we're going to stick at 37, 38 today? Let me know in the comments below. Remember, this is supposed to be a two-way stream. You guys get involved. I'm not just going to sit here and talk to you for an entire hour. Ask any questions you want. I know we have chat absolutely spam filled, and I know it's difficult to ask comments, but just ask it a couple of times and it will pop up. So, analyst explains why the Bitcoin price is faltering despite historic ETF volume. Let's see what this expert has to say. The Bitcoin price dipped below 40,400 this morning, a low point for the year, despite surging trading volume across a batch of new listed ETFs, as we have discovered. While this approval of the ETFs was expected to drive new institutional capital to crypto and prop up the Bitcoin price, market analyst Scott Melker explained why it hasn't been the case so far. As he points out in this video, which we are not going to watch, a key reason that the interest in the spot Bitcoin ETFs is not driving Bitcoin prices lies within the conversion of Grayscale's Bitcoin Trust to a spot ETF, which is pushing investors to redeem their shares. Now, we've covered this before. If this is his reason, then we don't really need to cover it. Now, I have been looking at the metrics of these ETFs. So I'll give you my piece on this and we'll bring up the chart. Every day for the last 7 or 8 days, more Bitcoin has been taken off exchanges and bought by these ETFs than the amount being exchanged with Grayscale. Grayscale is accounting for about 3/4 of the volume of trade. Now remember, the volume includes buying and selling of these ETFs. If it was $10 billion worth of buying, we would be at $52,500 now. But you have to remember that people are selling Bitcoin, so selling the Grayscale Bitcoin ETF and then buying additional ones. But if you remove all of that from the equation, there is still an additional 10, 11,000 Bitcoin being removed. So think of it as all the metrics are telling us that the price of Bitcoin should be going up. Everything that we're looking at, the volume, the number of Bitcoin being removed from exchanges, we've got bullish divergences, we've got massively low RSI, but we're still coming down. There is still a sell-off going on. And as you can see, I have drawn a chart here just to try and show you the pattern that we're currently in, which is this kind of descending pattern. Now, I don't know why my charts have messed up. Brogan, the Oracle, has been working on this. But if you look down here, this is the 4 hour. Let's go to daily. If you look at the 4 hour chart, RSI is down here. Sorry, the daily chart, the RSI is down here. If you look at the 4 hour, the RSI is down here. Now, at some point, the price is going to bounce. We cannot keep continuing to have this massive sell-off, because as we talk about when the price of Bitcoin goes up, it has to go up in steps. Okay, so it does this, it goes up in steps. Now, the reason is, if it went like this, the bears would get tired and the price would come crashing straight back down. So the bears would become exhausted. So these pauses gives the bears and the bulls and everybody that's involved a time to breathe. When you see this kind of correction, which is straight down, pretty much straight down like this, what you're finding is that the bears are going to become exhausted. you know, this cannot stay down here forever and a day. Remember what I was saying here. If you can, I was saying on the weekly chart, I was saying about here, I said nothing can go up in a straight line forever. And if you look, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 green weeks on the trot. We then exchanged a few red and green wicks here, and now we've had our third consecutive red wick. So, as I said, you cannot have this. This isn't going to work. Look at what happened with the RSI here. Massively, massively overbought. So there was going to be a correction to the downside. We expected the Bitcoin ETFs to continue the rally, however. I'm just going to caveat that. So now we've got on the weekly, we've got the RSI cooling off. And again, the RSI at some point is going to turn around and start to do this. And at that point, we should see some kind of movement up. That's what should happen. And as I said, if we go to the daily, we are oversold on the daily and the hourly and the 4 hourly and anything else you want to look at in the recent times. Flip those cryptos. Don't trip by the dip. If OK goes on further, it just gives you more opportunity to fill your bags. Absolutely. Just look at this as a big discount, like going to the flea market. Yesterday, I compared it to the January sales. So in the UK, and probably in America as well, in the UK, you have the January sales, and it's basically a huge 50-60% discount that you get. And you have to flip your mentality. So what I was saying a few weeks ago was retail, and most people watching this aren't retail. Retail buy here. Okay. Crypto investors should be buying here. So this is the right place to buy. This is the wrong place to buy. Now, if you look at where we're coming down to, let's go to the daily chart now to give you some idea of what I think could happen. We have to look for some level of support. Currently, this line is nowhere near a level of support. This white line is. Now, if I bring up the bull market support band, and I covered this yesterday. Can I bring up the bull market? There we go. Now, I covered this yesterday, and I said the bull market support band is at 37,000. Let's call it 37,300. This previous level of resistance, because remember, resistance switches to support, support switches to resistance. When we lost 40,000, unless we get back above it today quite quickly, that's going to be a problem. The same way that falling below 35, 30, 25, 20. There's certain prices where Bitcoin, Ethereum traditionally struggle or hold support. So we're going to come down, I believe, and I believe that the worst case scenario for us is this 32,200, which is the bull market support band. Now, why is that important? I've covered this before. The bull market support band is where, when we are above it, we can use it as a springboard. So what we should see in the coming days, if we do come down, is we should see this. We come down, maybe today, maybe tomorrow, maybe we break it. Maybe we do what's happened here before, because it doesn't just bounce off it directly. We might come all the way down to, here and then bounce, which is 35,000. I just think we've got, there are people who are saying that we should be looking at a 30% drop, which is, give me a second. Right. There we go. So a 30% drop would take us to 33,000. So 33,000 is a 30% drop, which some people claim is where we could be going, because traditionally we've had a 30% correction before the halving. That's possible. I'm not going to deny it. But that takes us way below the bull market support band. So where do we go if we do that? We could be stuck under it like this. So we could come under and then take 3 or 4 attempts to get back under. So what we could find, if we do come down to that level, is we could do this. And then we're stuck at this price for the next 3 months until the halving, which we don't want. So we do want to find support, and we need to find it pretty quickly. If we break the bull market support band, I am going to switch from bullish to short-term bearish. We are going to see a relief rally. Look what happened down here. We came massively overbought. We are not far away from that period here. And what happened when we were overbought? We came down and we curled back up. Now, if we do that again, we could see that, which just sits beautifully on our Fibonacci level. So that's a possibility. There's lots of things that can happen. I didn't think we'd break 40,000 so quickly and so easily, and we have done. I don't think we're going to hit the bull market support band, but it looks like we're going to hit it. Do I think we're going to go under the bull market support band? I don't know. I can't predict the future, but we're going to hit resistance at some support at some point. We're oversold. There needs to be a short-term rally. There needs to be a rally back to the upside, because this is a very steep correction if you draw it like that. And you know, we've come from 49,000 to 39,000. We've fallen $10,000 in 2 weeks. It's a big correction already. So I would say these are great times to buy Bitcoin. This is a good time to buy Bitcoin. Whether you get it at $39,000, $38,000, $37,000 or $35,000, it's a great time to buy Bitcoin. Remember, some of the analysts are predicting $150,000, $200,000. If you get in at $40,000 and we go to 160, you've 4x your money in 2 years. That's the way to look at it. So this is a buying opportunity, not a panic opportunity. We are not going to go to zero, but this max pain, this crushes people. This forces people out of the market. Remember we were saying the other week about BlackRock. BlackRock don't want to buy a $55,000 Bitcoin. They want to buy a $35,000 or a $25,000 Bitcoin because they can buy more Bitcoin for their money. Just bear that in mind. Now we're going to switch up a little bit. TomTom, very nice of you to join us. It goes up and comes down so orderly. It stops at 200 when going up and 800 when going down, super controlled. Yeah, that's what you think. So ETH supply could be affected by Ethereum's Denken upgrade, analysts says. The supply of Ether could be impacted by the Ethereum network's up-and-coming upgrade, according to CoinShares research associate Luke Nolan. The upgrade will enable Layer 2 transactions to be sent to the Ethereum network through blob space. Now, remember we talked about this. This is one of the reasons that most of the Layer 2s pumped a few weeks ago, because Ethereum slashed the fees that were being charged to Arbitrum, Optimism, and Matic. Their fees were being reduced. That made them more profitable, and therefore we had the huge 30%, 40% spike in OP and Arbitrum. Of course, all things that involve price cuts come with a reduction in revenue to people like Ethereum. So Ethereum generates an awful lot of cash, but it's slashing the fees to Layer 2s, making them more profitable. So the upgrade, it's an alternative. This could result in reduced gas usage and consequently a lower amount of Ether being burned. Transactional call date makes up 90% of the costs Layer 2 pay in terms of gas fees. But after the Denken upgrade, instead of posting their data through call date, Layer 2s can use the new blob space mechanism, which has significantly lower gas costs. So if we expect layer 2s to gradually shift to using this new blob space mechanism, we could see gas prices settle at lower levels, which means less ether is being burned. Now, remember as well, we talk about the fact that Ethereum during the last 18 months on the whole has been deflationary. 0.5% a year, up to 1% a year. When we hit the bull cycle or the bull run and we have retail come in and transactions go through the roof, we expect Ethereum to become more deflationary. Now, this is going to counteract that. What we don't want to see is heavy usage on Ethereum, which is going to cause $200 transactions. We don't want to see that anymore. So we want to see a move away from these high gas fees and slow transactions. Remember, if the transaction fails, you lose your money. So that isn't good either. So gas demand on the Ethereum network drives ETH's deflation mechanism by the gas burn, which can reduce the circulating supply. The upgrade could see gas prices settle at lower levels. The impact of the upgrade and the introduction of the blob space mechanism could be mitigated by other factors. Nolan stressed that layer 1 demand is what significantly drives deflation and that even very high blob usage has a low impact on circulating supply. So on the whole, this is a positive upgrade. We want to see the layer 2s utilize more on Ethereum. We want to see more activity on these layer 2s, especially the new ones. We talk about Matic all the time. Matic is overlooked. It's overlooked because Optimism and Arbitrum are new and they're doing new and exciting things. But Matic, remember, is the one with all the real life partnerships in place. We talk about Disney, we talk about Starbucks, we talk about the NFTs, we talk about ticketing systems. So Matic for me is still the top layer 2, even though there are way more options nowadays. I still think it's number 1. So if we go, and we're going to look at the chart of ADA in a minute, we're going to have a look at it and see where we think we're going to go. Now, again, whenever we do these price predictions on here, whenever we cover them, remember to take them with a pinch of salt. We read these to give ourselves an insight into what they're thinking about. Now, remember, my price prediction for ADA is between $3 and $5 in the next bull run. Its previous all-time high touched $3. Same with XRP. I think XRP could get somewhere towards $5 to $8, maybe $6 or $7, depending on the CBDC news, their partnership, to try and get another arrow to their bow. So XRP could do better, but I think Cardano, realistically, $3 to $5 would be a good target. Now, a very controversial figure has predicted $11, and that is Ben Armstrong. He has predicted an $11 Cardano. Interesting. In a video posted on his channel, he mentioned that his bull case predicted $11 for ADA. He didn't share any analysis to back up his bullish sentiment. Instead, he only referred to an earlier ADA analysis chart that Martinez had shared as part of his prediction, hitting $7. We're going to get to a period in the market where people are going to be throwing numbers at you. They're going to be throwing $20 ADA, $200 XRP, $3,000 Solana, $50,000 Ethereum, $1 million Bitcoin. You're going to start to see these titles and these articles coming out with these headlines. And you've got, yes, it's very exciting to think, I've got 1,000 ADA and it's going to go to $50. I'm going to make a fortune. But you've got to temper it by understanding the market cap, the circulating supply. The circulating supply of ADA and Matic and Ethereum and Bitcoin today is different to what it was 4 years ago. 4 years ago, we had fewer Matic, fewer ADA, fewer Ethereum, fewer Bitcoin. So if you did a like-for-like comparison, people just look at the price, but people don't look at the market cap. So if you've got a $3 Cardano in the bull run, and you only had 30 billion ADA, well, today you've got 35 billion ADA. So if you wanted to get back to the previous value in the previous bull run, you have to remember there's now more coins in circulation because most coins have inflation. Cardano has inflation, AVAX has inflation, Solana has inflation, BNB has a burn, so there are supposed to be less BNB over time. Ethereum has become deflationary, that one probably doesn't count. But you can't compare price without comparing market cap. That's what I'm trying to say. It goes for most coins. Matic has 9 billion coins in circulation out of a total of 10 billion. You need to go and look at how many Matic were in circulation 4 years ago. Then you can work out what market cap Matic could get to reach its previous market cap, but the price would be less. So if Matic got to $5, it might only need to get to $4 to hit the previous market cap. So take all of that into consideration when you are looking at those kind of prices. Now, ADA, again, ADA is one of those coins. Some people call it a stable coin. Other people like to, fade it, whatever it might be. ADA's in a very similar pattern to a lot of coins. It's coming back towards its bull market support band or its moving average, whatever you want to call it, which is currently at about 43 cents. It's come back down. It was up here, 65 cents. It's lost almost 33%. It's lost a third of its value over that period of time. Remember what I say about coins that you like. This is a good area to be buying coins that you believe, not me, are going to do well in the next bull run. If you believe in the project, if you believe in ADA, then we are approaching a good value for ADA to pick up. So if you think, if we hit the moving average and we break down and we come down to these prices, anywhere around here for me is going to be a good place to pick up ADA. It's a good zone, it's a good price to get in. And if this is the final mini capitulation before the bull run, then these are sale prices. It's a bit different. If we were looking at a meme coin with no real utility, no use case, no real community, then you'd probably expect it to kind of do something like this and just fade away. But we're talking about ADA, we're talking about a top 10 coin. It has history. We can go back over time and see just how far ADA has been up in the previous bull cycle. Look where it's come up to now. We're at a good price. We are touching this fib level. We could bounce. We could come down to the moving average. We could even break down. So it's difficult to say right now. Everything is beholden to Bitcoin. I mean, the only chart I've got which looks remotely bullish for me, I was looking before to try and pull out some kind of chart that I like, a coin, is Link. So Link, I've obviously got, full disclosure, I own my bag of Link. I like Link. It's a good token for me. We're sitting at $14, but Link hasn't seen such a dramatic fall. We are still in this kind of range here. Now, that looks very familiar. If we go back over here, I think we've covered this ad nauseum. But if we look over here, I had a period of time for Link where it was in this kind of movement where you could kind of predict where it was going to go, and then eventually it broke out. But we've broken out into another very similar range where we are moving up and moving down. So we could expect to see Link come down to about $13.20, which, funnily enough, would probably bring it, if we carry on like that, probably bring it somewhere near its own moving average. So Link, again, is in this nice pattern. You can kind of predict its movement. It's got a high of about 1670. It's got a low, let's call it 1350, 1360. So it's in a nice pattern. And again, I know it's not on the show, but I just wanted to show you that most coins are in a similar setup at the minute, just because of what's happened with Bitcoin in the last 2 weeks. They're all in a very similar pattern. Link, however, is holding its own. There are a few others that are holding its own as well. 500 Link is a good bag of Link. So it is. That is a good bag. I actually don't know how many I've got. I think I picked mine up about, what was it? I can't remember now. $6, $7? I can't remember. I got mine for. But I like it. I've got a portfolio which is a $15,000 to $1 million portfolio, which I'm trying to, over a period of a couple of bull runs, move it up. And Link is one of those. It's not a moon, it's not moon boy maths. It's not crazy. I'm not expecting it to happen between now and December 2025. This is over, maybe 2028, maybe 2032. It's that kind of period of time that I'm looking for. So now we're going to look at something a bit different. We've got, how long do we have? 10 minutes. Okay, so we've still got plenty of time. So, what's the best crypto to buy now? Would you buy XRP, Solana, or Arbitrum? And that is, without going through the article to start with, that's a difficult question. XRP still has the court case to finish with the SEC. That's going to be tricky. Arbitrum has recently pumped. That's a layer 2, so that sits on top of Ethereum. And then Solana, which is a layer 1, which has had this massive pump. So which one would I buy of those three? If I had to pick one at today's prices, I would probably pick Solana, simply because XRP, we know what its previous all-time high was, but we haven't moved there, and we haven't moved anywhere near it. And I do like XRP. I think it's going to be massive in the future. But at the minute, could an $80 Solana turn into a $400 Solana in the next bull run? I think so. So we got a 5x there. Is XRP going to hit $3 in the next bull run? Probably, but it hasn't been moving for a very long time. Arbitrum is a layer 2, which is competing with lots of other layer 2s. Is Arbitrum going to come out on top of that fight and do a 10x? Unproven. So if I was to pick one of these coins to buy today, it would be Solana. But that's my personal opinion. It's not financial advice, as I keep saying. So it's hard to pick one that you've got to say, right, which is the most potential for growth against which one's got previous price history and which one is going to move up. If you were to ask the general public which of those three coins they've heard of the most, it's going to be between XRP and Solana. So that takes Arbitrum out of the equation. People will look at Solana and see its previous price action in the last 12 months and go, that one's moving a lot more than XRP. So retail, when retail turn up, which of those three coins are retail going to buy? They're going to buy Solana. And that's going to help. That's going to help an awful lot. Because you can have the best coin in the world, but if nobody's heard of it, nobody's going to buy it. And I think, for me, I would pick Solana. But again, this article, it goes through the pros and cons of each. Solana emerged as the top performer in Q4. It went from $20 to $126 in December. We're now down at about $85. That, again, healthy retraction. What's that? That's, again, another third. That's a third down. Decent. Arbitrum has been at $2.40. Again, that's down a third. There is a theme here, which is everything has corrected, apart from a few coins like Sui and Chainlink, which is stuck in its range. Most coins have moved in the same kind of pattern. So is XRP the crypto to buy today? No, the court case hasn't been finished. There could be some more downward price action on XRP, but I do expect a bit of a pump when the court case is closed. when it closes, prepare yourself. They're going to have to pay $100-200 million in fines. That's what it's going to be. So when that's announced, I think we're going to see an XRP pump based on that. I think we're going to struggle to break $1. We struggled to break $1 when we were when the first court case was won. I think we'll struggle to break $1 with this one. So flip those cryptos. Exactly what I was going to say, Solana. Okay, so you would pick Solana as well. Yeah, I mean, the thing with Solana as well is that somebody said something on Twitter the other day, which I thought was really, really cool. Somebody can come to Solana with $10 and benefit from the DeFi platforms on Solana. You can't really do that on most other chains because of the cost. You know, what can you do with XRP? You can buy it and you can hold it. What can you do with Arbitrum? Well, Arbitrum isn't fully built out yet. You can't really do an awful lot with it yet. Solana, you could go and buy an NFT. You could go and stake 8 of your dollars on, you know, one of the DeFi platforms. You can put it on a validator. There's an awful lot you can do because everything costs a fraction of a cent. So if you're going to bring people to crypto, you're not going to say, okay, well, you need $1,000 to go and stake on a DeFi platform in Ethereum. And by the way, it's going to cost you $25 a transaction. So before you've made a cent, it's cost you $50 to add the funds and remove the funds. So you're already down 5%. So Ethereum might have all the liquidity, but for a beginner who wants to dip their toe and you give them a choice of Ethereum or Solana, you're going to pick Solana. So for me, I think we're going to see a move back up to $100, $120 once the market is flushed of all of this grayscale buying and selling. So for me, I would be picking Solana. Arbitrum is down as well, but again, look, it's the same thing for all coins. The drop is a third. You're now getting a third more coins than you were getting 3 weeks ago. So you think about it this way. I had $150 sitting on the side just to buy some altcoins. I can now buy 2 Solana for that. In December, I could buy 1.1. So look at it that way. I can now buy more Solana for that. If the price goes down to $75, $80, I'll be able to buy 2 whole Solana when I could have bought 1 Solana in December. So that's why I say always have a little bit of cash on the side to buy some dips. The problem is when the dips keep dipping and it keeps dipping, that's when you need to dollar cost average in. So think about this as a way of getting more coins for your money. Think about this as being able to get 1,000 Cardano today instead of 700 Cardano in December. That's how I see it. Because in the bull run, you get that additional multiplier of buying in at a lower price. So for me, I'm not going to read anymore. For me, in order, I would be buying Solana, probably XRP, and then Arbitrum second. And XRP will probably go to $3 or $4 in the next bull run, simply because it is XRP. It is going to be the 3rd or 4th biggest crypto in the world. It is connecting all the banks. It is going to run CBDCs for smaller countries. There's a lot of things to like about XRP, but it doesn't have the mania that's going to come with Solana. I mean, Solana's dropping mobile phones that cost you $450 and you're getting $800 worth of crypto on them. Solana has a long way to go before it's caught, and I don't agree with the idea that Solana is going to catch Ethereum in the next bull run. That is just not going to happen. But Solana at $500, absolutely, $400, $500 Solana in the next bull run. Why not? It would put it at 100 and what would that be? 150, 160 billion market cap, easily achievable. Sodacan is here. YouTube streams are starting to get viewership. It's nice to see. It is nice to see, indeed. Yeah. And flip those cryptos. That portfolio you've got will probably at least 5 to 10x, depending on what you've got in your portfolio in the next 2 years, I would say. Now, the last thing we're going to talk about, and we've managed to do the stream, pretty much on time today, which is nice, is as at the end of 2023, we are up to 580 million crypto holders around the world. It's a drop in the ocean. What's the population now? Is it 6 billion, 8 billion? Population of the world, 8 billion. So we are, what's that? 7% of the population, 7.5% of the population now holds crypto. If you take out children from the equation, maybe there's 6 billion people. So 10% of the population of the planet holds Bitcoin. We're never going to see 100%. You know, we still don't have the internet for 100% of the world's population. So conservatively, if we were to say, you know, where is all this money going to come from? Where is the money going to come from to pump crypto to $1 million Bitcoin? How do we get to $1 million Bitcoin? We get to $1 million Bitcoin by bringing more people to crypto and not burning them and not insulting them, not taking the mickey out of them. You know, you're always going to get trolls in chat. You're always going to get people who are arrogant, cocky, demeaning people. They just have to be ignored. We need to try and bring as many people to crypto as we can. The more people that come, the more they buy. If 400 million people all bought $100 of Bitcoin, that would pump an awful lot of money into Bitcoin alone. We're up a third. So what would we have been at? 380 million the year before, 580 million this year. Given the fact that we're going to have a bull run over the next 2 years, where are we going to go? We're going to go to 1 billion people. Once we hit 1 billion people, again, the headline of it, if you know, you've got to look at how do you bring people in. People read the news, okay? So the Bitcoin ETF would have been headline news. Bitcoin hitting $50,000 will be headline news. Bitcoin hitting $100,000 will be headline news. Crypto hitting 1 billion people, 1 billion holders is headline news. Once you start to see news like that, you know, the average person who knows nothing about crypto opens their paper or goes online to read their Instagram account or whatever, and they see 1 billion people now hold crypto. It validates crypto. The ETFs validate crypto. BlackRock, Vanguard, Fidelity, they are household names. They validate crypto. We want adoption above all else, and we want regulation. We want crypto to be regulated in a good way. We don't want crypto to be treated any other way than the same way that banks are treated, funds are treated. It has to be treated the same way. You can't have special rules for crypto. It has to be treated the same way. And then we want adoption. Adoption will bring all the money to crypto. It's all a waiting game. So if you can see a 37,000, a 38,000, a 39,000, a 50,000 Bitcoin, it's a drop in the ocean to what it will be eventually. If it's classified in people's minds as digital gold is safe. It's an inflation hedge. It's a flee from volatility. It's the asset that you go to when there's conflict. So let's say there's a conflict in the Middle East or Asia, and it starts on Friday. There's a new conflict. What will happen? The stock market will crash. What do people do to hold their wealth? They buy gold. They go to gold. They flee to gold. Now, in 10 years' time, maybe those people go to Bitcoin, because Bitcoin should be, and it isn't at the minute, it should be independent of these macro environmental news events, these black swans. It should be outside of that. At the minute, it isn't. And that's a problem that we need to address at some point in the future. It's still not seen as an inflation hedge. It's still not seen as a fleet of safety asset. So we need to address that at some point in the future. But the main crux to get from this article is we are so early in crypto. 10% of the grown population in the world holds crypto. 10%. If you look at the bell curve of crypto holders, if you look at the adoption rate of the internet and how, where are we on the curve of the internet? Because the internet took 10 or 20 years. Bitcoin is probably going to take another 5 years to get to the place where we want. I mean, when there's 3 billion people holding crypto, that's when we've made it. That's when we've really made an impact. We're not there yet. We have a long way to go, but we should pat ourselves on the back. Now, it is the end of the news, and we're going to do the quiz. But before we do the quiz, we're going to say goodbye to our friends on one of the channels. So thank you for coming. Remember to like, subscribe, bookmark, whatever it is you want to do, make sure to do that. And we are back tomorrow. Now, tomorrow, Wednesday, is a special day. We have 2 live streams tomorrow. Tomorrow in the day, we will have our normal show at 11 o'clock. And then at night, 7 o'clock, I think, tomorrow night, we will be doing our giveaway show. The giveaway show is in the calendar. So go and have a look. Go and join the giveaway. We will be doing the giveaway in a certain way, so we get to pick up everybody's names. So I can't say anything else on that because we're streaming in certain places, but we will go through all of the details tomorrow. So if you are watching, make sure to like, make sure to subscribe. I'm going to put the stream on pause for 30 seconds. By the way, the answer to the question that I posed today was, are we going to see $38,000 Bitcoin today? And the answer, according to the people who voted, 70% have said yes, 30% have said no. By 38,000, I literally mean 38,000, 38,100, 38,200. Are we going to continue the drop down, or are we going to hold the line at 39,000? And are we going to be back over 40,000 at the end of the day? I'd like to say we'll be back over 40,000, but I'm not too sure we will be. I think we've got a little bit more of the downside. So that's it. Right, I'm going to pause the stream. When I come back, I will do the quiz for our exchange viewers. Thanks, everybody. Make sure to like and subscribe. See you tomorrow.